Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. My name's Chelsea, you know that, I know that, and I am just a lady with a bulldog, a camera, and too many opinions. And y'all know that I have a lot of opinions about Elizabeth Teckenbrock, the serial con artist. You know, Elizabeth, you know her. Well, I uncovered something in the last few days that I think is truly delicious in the worst way. And I wanted to go over it with you. You guys, I do have a wand, but unfortunately I can't just say, I hereby commandify that your personal and private information be removed from data collection sites. Nothing's gonna happen if I do that. But the good news is the sponsor of today's video can help. And that's Aura. Aura is all-in-one digital security, and I am obsessed-elated with it. Aura has been one of the longest sponsors on my channel, and I used them well before that and will continue to. Not only do they have VPN services with over 100 locations, they also have credit and bank monitoring, 24/7 US-based support and fraud experts available to help you, but they also can submit automatic removal requests on your behalf because, as you know, the wonderful wizard isn't the only bad guy out there. There are data brokers out there that are selling your information to scammers and spammers and other nefarious people, okay? So it's time for you to keep yourself safe online, to keep your home safe, because there's no place like home, as we know. So go ahead and let Aura do that hard work for you and keep you safe online. Take advantage of their 2-week free trial at aura.com/CCSUAREZ. That's aura.com/CCSUAREZ to get started today. Thank you, Aura, for sponsoring this video. And thank you to you guys for supporting my sponsors. Now it's been a clock tick, so let's go ahead and get back to the video. Now, before we get into these emails, these phone records, these texts, all of that, these statements from people, let me be abundantly clear. One, if you're subscribed to my channel, your butt looks good. And if you're not subscribed, you're dead to me. And then two, had to get that out of the way. And then two, everything that I'm showing, I have not obtained by hacking Elizabeth Teckenbrock's email. I don't know her passwords. I've never done that. No, would never. All of these, someone who was either forwarded these from Elizabeth or was copied on these emails themselves sent to me. Also, regarding phone records, whoever pays for the bill has access to those phone records and can send them out to whoever they want to. Okay? Thank you. Also, I really feel like I don't need to say it, but anything regarding anything with my job ever, but especially Elizabeth Teckenbrock, since she's local to me, let me make it extremely, extremely, extremely clear. Okay? You listening? Okay, pumpkin? Never have I ever used anyone's access from their job. Someone who's related to me, a friend of mine, someone married to me, never used anyone's credentials, access, whatever, to access information that I should not have access to or don't have access to or anything like that. Never. We're all above board here. Okay? Thanks. I feel like I shouldn't even have to say that, but okay, they're going to love that. Anyways, let's go ahead and talk about the Dubai investment scam. And really just the true debauchery that Liz does behind the scenes, okay? So we're gonna need like a conspiracy board for this, I swear to God. So we're gonna mention a few characters, but I'm gonna try to run through it as fast as I can, and we're gonna put up like little things and titles for people, okay? So we have Liz, we have McKay, right? And then we also have the guy that Liz was kind of dating in June, July, August, whenever. And his name is Tony. Now, online people call him like the olive oil guy because I guess he owns like an olive oil brand or something. So his name's Tony. Tony has a friend named Anthony who lives outside of the States. Now, this is what Liz told McKay. All right. McKay is Liz's ex-roommate, ex-best friend, also the third, to our knowledge, the third largest financial victim of Elizabeth Teckenbrock, and also a catfishing victim of her and an impersonation victim of her too. Just all around survivor of Liz, right? Liz told McKay that she needed to basically hide, I'm paraphrasing, hide $5 million, right? Does Liz have that? No, she doesn't. Of course not. No, she doesn't. It's mythical. But she told her she needed to do that, right? And so she, I guess, had said that the olive oil guy had a friend named Anthony. Anthony's the one who lives overseas, right? And that Anthony was going to, I guess, refer her to some type of investment thing or properties to where she could, move around all of her riches, all of her treasures and gold and billions of dollars. So Liz had McKay be basically her point of contact for this whole thing. And she's like, okay, I need you to talk to the Anthony guy, the one that lives overseas, and, talk to him, whatever about it. And she's like, okay. So McKay was like, was talking to him. He's a handsome fella. They started getting a little flirty. Love that for her. And then Liz was like, no, not anymore. Okay, you can't talk to him anymore. And she's like, okay, fine. So let's go over these emails because this is insane regarding this Dubai scam. Because apparently, allegedly, this is the, property investment type thing that the overseas Anthony referred Elizabeth to. Okay. Now here we have June 6th, 2025. Dear Miss Isabel, I got a question. Yeah, me down in front. Okay. Who's Miss Isabel? Who's that? You're going to see Miss Isabel Sanders is the name that's in place of Elizabeth Teckenbrock on this. And that is because a few months earlier, Liz had, I guess, was like going with the story, need to keep a straight face. It's not funny. She's going with the story that like she was privately changed her name to Isabel Sanders and was engaged to her now obviously ex-boyfriend, but like on again, off again boyfriend at that time. And that she changed the name because she wanted to make it to where she could transfer a bunch of money over to him, like without the government knowing that it was from Elizabeth. Anyways, this is one of the many aliases that she uses. Liz has so many aliases, it's wild. So again, this is just yet another one. So this is from Zahir Chunawala. Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce that, but it's from Damak Group. And they said, thank you for your interest in investing. We are delighted for your trust and look forward to guiding you through our investment process. Below, you'll find blah, 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 blah. Okay. And then we have another one that basically goes over the available units and the rates and whatever. And McKay forwarded that over to Liz. But at the bottom of this one, it does say, to proceed, we kindly request that you transfer the minimum of 5% of the total amount to our verified account attached to you for reference and send proof of payment. And then on the 20th of June, we have a new player, and that's Joseph D. Simon. And he said, hello, thank you for your detailed outline regarding the investment process. On behalf of my client, Miss Isabel Sanders, I'm writing to confirm that the transfer of funds has been successfully initiated. The investment payment has been sent, and barring any unforeseen banking delays, it is expected to be received by your account early next week. Please don't hesitate to reach out if confirmation of receipt is needed, or if there are any additional forms or documentation required at this stage. We appreciate your continued support and look forward to progressing smoothly through the next steps of this investment journey. Warm regards, Joe. No like official email signature, just Joe. Okay. And that was on a Friday. So then later that morning, this one says from the people in Dubai, thank you for your confirmation regarding the transfer on behalf of Miss Isabel and Mr. McKay. Sorry, McKay. To proceed with proper reconciliation, we kindly request a copy of the payment confirmation or bank transfer receipt, which there would not be any because there are no funds. There is no wire coming, including the details of the remitting accounts, finance team accurately identify and locate the funds once received. Additionally, as payment has been executed by a third party, we would appreciate if you could complete and return the attached third-party payment form in line with our compliance requirements. So then, this one is weird. So then on the 23rd, which is the next Monday, there's an email from Joseph Simon. We'll get to that in a minute. To Elizabeth Teckenbrock. And it says attachments, screenshot. Sir, it's also like at 11 p.m. What financial person is going to be emailing you at 11 p.m. and also just sending a screenshot? How and why? With bank statements and all that. It's not just a screenshot, baby girl. It's a like downloaded PDF. Anyways, so he says, Dear Elizabeth, no comma, against my better judgment, I am sending you a photo of your bank statement as requested. Please review it at your earliest convenience and kindly delete it immediately after for security reasons. Do not share this document with anyone. Document? It's a screenshot. It contains sensitive financial information and is intended for your eyes only. Now more than ever, please take this seriously. Thank you for your understanding and your cooperation. Best regards, Joe. Just Joe. No formal email signature. Nothing. Okay. And then the next day, he sent another, he, meaning Joe, the totally real person. Joe said, Dear Zahir, again, so sorry if I'm being culturally insensitive. I don't know how to pronounce that name. Thank you for your message and for outlining next steps. Please find the IMAD number below in the proper format. Regarding the transfer, please note that all transactions of this nature are subject to a board approval process. overseen by Isabel's father. This internal process has now been completed, and the wire was sent when we informed you. Then why are you explaining that it's going to be held up if it was already sent and completed? Secondly, we have now sent the final form you requested for signature. We understand this may have caused some frustration, and we sincerely apologize for any inconvenience. The process moved faster than originally expected on our side. Did it, or did nothing happen? If at this point the deal no longer aligns with your direction or expectations, we completely respect that. Just let us know, and we will move forward along a different path to avoid any unnecessary pressure for all involved. Anthony spoke very highly of you and your company, and his recommendation carried real weight. That said, if you're not familiar with the level of time and coordination required to expedite a transaction of this nature, especially when originating from a U.S. trust account, Elizabeth is a very wealthy trust fund baby. We completely understand. We are currently preparing the MT-103 Swift copy and the completed third-party payment form as requested, and we'll share them shortly. Please don't hesitate to reach out for any further questions. Best, just Joe. So, who's Joe? Well, when you go to the domain of finance@josephd.simon.com, it's under construction apparently. So josephd.simon.com, we are under construction. Please check back for an update soon. How long does construction take? Because I'm pretty sure it's been under construction since August, since I first saw it. So yikes. Now, if you don't know, you can look up the who is search in that domain information to see who purchased, who the registrant is for a domain. The thing is though, is that when buying a domain, you can spend a little bit extra money and have that little privacy package added on to that so that that information is protected. It looks like that did happen. Unfortunately, someone learned their lesson. Now, I did search for the real Joseph D. Simon, and I found him. And guess what? He is a real person, and he has worked for the same firm for almost 40 years. Hell yeah, King. Let's hear it for Joseph D. Simon. I also emailed him and left him a voicemail, letting him know that I believe he's been impersonated by a serial con artist, and I would like confirmation if this person has ever been a client of his. And here's the thing. You might think, but Chelsea, if he is a real person, like, why do you think it's not him? Because why would someone who's been working for the same firm for 40 years create a new domain and new email in May of 2025? Why would they do that? That makes no sense. Absolutely no sense. Why would they conduct business through a separate email? Typically, if you work for a firm like that, you can't have, like at that level, you can't have personal clients. Everything would be run through that company that you've worked for forever. Now, since this was in May, June, July of 2025, I was like, I have Liz's phone records from back then. So let me see if she ever talked to this person on the phone. Because you'd think if this person is your financial advisor and you're trying to invest millions of dollars in multiple different investments in Dubai and real estate, that you'd be talking to this man on the phone, right? You'd think. Well, no. The only time from what seems like May, June, or July that she talked to him or even called, his office number shows up on May 15th, 2025. And it was an outgoing call and it lasted 2 minutes. Now, phone carriers do round up, so it could have been a minute and a half and it rounded up to 2 minutes. Now, typically, if it's 1 minute or 2 minutes, that means that a voicemail was left because that time starts when the call stops ringing and it's either connected to someone on the other line or the voicemail. So typically voicemails are going to take about a minute and a half or something like that, right? So I assume that she left a voicemail. And then there's no other contact. But again, that's his office number. So if it was really him in these emails, why wouldn't he be using his professional email, his business email? Why would a new email have been created? Because he still works there. It's not like, oh, he left. No, my guy's been there, like I said, almost 40 years. It's crazy. That's amazing. That's so impressive. Now, if you remember at the end of that last email, totally from Joe, who's definitely not Liz pretending and impersonating this actual person. If you remember in that one, he mentioned Anthony, referred you and spoke very highly of you and blah, blah, blah. So that was the friend of the olive oil guy that lives overseas, right? Now I got to talk to him, which was pretty enlightening. And if you remember earlier in this video, I said that McKay was told by Liz to talk to this guy. How surprised would you be if I told you that that man told me he's never spoken to McKay and he's talked to Liz maybe once? Yo, you're not surprised at all? You could have told me that? Okay. Well, listen, I wasn't shocked and I wasn't really surprised either. But I was just like, oh my God, again, right? So yeah, this Anthony from overseas fella confirmed with me yesterday that he had never spoken with McKay. So once again, McKay was being catfished by Liz. And I kept thinking, what is the purpose of that? If you don't actually have any money to send over to these people, and the only real person on like this side of the transaction is McKay, that's, seeing those emails as well because she's CC'd on them, then what is the purpose? And I really do think that Liz was potentially trying to, I guess, like show or add validity to her story that she has all this money coming, to attempt to like bolster herself up to show McKay like, oh, I have money too. And like, so that McKay would potentially keep giving her money. Because at that time, McKay had already moved away and she was, I don't want to say hardly talking to Liz, but her dad had just passed away too. So I'm thinking that potentially Liz thought that McKay was getting inheritance payment or something from her dad since he had just passed away, and was like trying to, again, like reinforce all of this facade of like, I have so much money. Look, I'm like hiding money in Dubai. Look, I'm, committing tax evasion. Look at me. It's like, girl, what? And if you think about it, like if she sees this, how's she going to get out of it? How's she going to try to talk her way out of, okay, so you didn't impersonate a financial advisor. You didn't catfish McKay. You did actually have millions and millions of dollars. No, you didn't. So like, again, what was the point? It's wild. This woman can act like all day long that she has changed. She has not. And you can say, well, Chelsea, that was last summer. Do y'all not remember the video that I just made? How I went over how Liz tried to take upwards of $20,000 from her on again, off again ex's savings account to pay off her new current boyfriend's Amex card. Do you remember that? Do you also remember the video that I made last week where I absolutely perfectly showed with facts that she was lying about reporting her ex-husband to police and filing a police report regarding her nudes being leaked, and how she was like showing him showing a nude on live stream when he never did that, but she purposely made it look like it was a nude by censoring part of it out when there were no boobies. There was no nudity. That's not a nude by definition. So has she changed? No. I just think that we've caught up with her, and we're at the point now where like we've talked to people who have been scammed by her, but now like we're in real time now, so it's going to take a little bit for more people to come forward, but they are. So no, this woman is not changed. I don't think she ever will. And I pray to God or to the universe or the flying spaghetti monster that she doesn't get pregnant, because she's already not a good mom to the 4 other children she has, even though she doesn't claim all of them. Oh, also, she told both those Tonys, the Anthony from overseas and the olive oil Tony guy, that she only had 1 kid. Isn't that interesting? Wow, what a good mom. I wonder which one she chose. Probably the girl. Probably the one that looks like her. Like a true narcissist. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this little expose, this little video. I have another one coming, probably next week, about Liz's supposed stint at rehab. Remember when she was online telling all of us that she was going to rehab, and then she apparently went for like a day and didn't actually do anything? Well, she skipped out on that bill, and a collections agency has been calling people nonstop trying to get that money since she didn't even put down her own information and her own name. She put down someone else's name and McKay's phone number. So they've been calling her, which is horrible, but good for us because that means that I have all the information. So that's awful. And we'll go over that next week. And I personally can't wait. So like I said before, if you are subscribed, your butt looks so good. Stay spicy. I hope you know how valid you are and how valuable you and your story is. If you know anyone who's been scammed by Elizabeth Teckenbrock or someone like her, please do email me. My email is chelsea@chelseasuarez.com. I would love to hear your story, share your story. I can keep you on background or keep you anonymous if you'd like. That's okay, whatever you're comfy with. All right, I will see y'all in my next video. Oh, also, if you're not subscribed, you're dead to me. Okay, bye.